please don't apply to law school with a 140 LSAT score. Now, I know that's not what most people say, but I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to tell you the truth. There is no law school worth going to that will set you up for long-term success if they're admitting students with a 140. Sure, I mean, some schools will take you. Pontifical Catholic University of Puerto Rico has a median LSAT of 135. But let's be real. Look at their bar passage rates. Look at their job placement. Those are not numbers you want to bet your future on. That's not a launch pad, that's a trap. But here's the good news. You can retake the LSAT no matter where you're starting from. You can improve, and law schools will not hold multiple scores against you. They only care about your highest score. So don't give up, don't settle, give yourself a real shot. Now, if you got a 140, it doesn't mean you're not smart. It just means you studied the wrong way. Maybe you used Khan Academy and bounced between LSAT for Dummies and the Complete Idiot's Guide to the LSAT. Maybe you skipped review entirely. Or maybe you just took a bunch of exams and hoped for the best. None of that works on the LSAT, because this test isn't about how hard you study, it's about how strategically you study. Most 140 scores come from a few key issues. It might involve not understanding argument structure in logical reasoning, reading comp that feels like a blur, rushing through practice without reviewing properly, or panicking under time pressure. But the most important thing to understand, all of these issues are fixable. You're not bad at the LSAT, you just haven't learned how to play the game yet. Now, here's how the LSAT looks today. There is no more logic games on it, just 2 sections of logical reasoning, 1 section of reading comp, and 1 unscored extra section of either logical reasoning or reading comp. That means 2 out of 3 scored sections, 2/3 of your score is logical reasoning. And this is actually great news for you because logical reasoning is the most teachable, most pattern-based section on the entire test. And if you can build your skills there, your score will increase. Now here's how to go from a 140 to a 160. First, you want to diagnose the real problem. Pull your latest sections, break down your accuracy by section and by question type. Are you missing half of your logical reasoning questions? Or do you consistently guess between 2 reading comp answers that both sound right? You've got to isolate your biggest leaks because you don't need to get everything right. You just need to fix the right things. Now, if logical reasoning is your weakness, don't just say, oh, I'm bad at logical reasoning. That's too vague. Instead, go question type by question type. Start with flaw questions, for example. Do 10, 15 of them in a row, untimed, and review every question. Then ask yourself, why was my answer wrong? What trap did I fall for? Why is the right answer right? And could I have predicted it in advance? Then move on to necessary assumption, inference, strengthen, weaken, and so on. The goal here is to build pattern recognition the same way you learn chess openings or basketball plays. Now, you also want to master the review process because this is where you actually learn. And most students don't review at all. They just check the answer key, say, oh, I get it now, and then they move on. That's like watching film after a bad game and skipping all the plays where you messed up. The real progress happens during review. Now, here's how to do it. You want to ask what tempted you about the wrong answer, then explain why the right answer is right. You want to talk it out, write it out, maybe even record yourself explaining it, and then track the most common mistakes in an error log. If you fix just 1 recurring mistake each week, your score can jump faster than you'd think. Now, you may not actually have a timing problem. You might have a confidence problem that shows up when the clock is ticking. If that's your issue, you want to start with 40-minute sections instead of 35-minute sections and focus on logic rather than speed. Once your accuracy is solid, you slowly cut the time back to 39 minutes, then 38, 37, 36, down to 35. That builds real test day endurance without rushing blindly. And don't forget, you want to practice the same way it's going to be on game day, on the computer, not on a phone, not on a tablet, and not in a book. The LSAT is online on a computer. You want to use LSAC's Law Hub Advantage that matches the interface and the timer that you'll actually experience on test day itself. Now, if you're struggling with reading comp, I know it's brutal for a lot of people, not because they can't read, but because they read like it's a college class. You're not trying to memorize facts here. You're trying instead to map the argument. So after each paragraph, jot down a quick 3 to 5 word summary. You want to track shifts in tone, words like but, however, or phrases like in contrast. Then you ID the author's main point, attitude, and the role of each paragraph. Then, when you get to the questions, you're not guessing because you actually know where to look already. Also, you want to watch out for trap language that might include extreme phrasing like always or never. You want to look out for subtle distortions in the text, and if you can't underline or find the support in the passage itself, don't pick that choice. Now, when it comes to study plans, you don't need 5-6 hours a day. Instead, you need consistent strategic effort. Even just 60 to 90 minutes a day could be enough if you're focused. The key is depth, not breadth. Now, if your LSAT's coming up soon, maybe it's in 6 to 8 weeks, and you're still stuck at a 140, I know you might be freaking out now, but please don't, because you still have time to turn it around. Your plan going forward should be to focus heavily on logical reasoning, drill question types every single day, take one full exam every week, and use the rest of your time to review, fixing patterns in your mistakes, patching up the holes, and above all, cut out the fluff. No more bouncing between 6 different courses, no more study groups that just turn into complaint sessions. You're not here to vent, you're here to win. Now look, again, a 140 LSAT score does not mean you're not smart, it just means you haven't been shown the right strategy. Now, whatever you do, don't waste your potential going to a school that won't set you up for success. Don't throw away your shot by settling too soon. Give this a real shot. You just need a plan and the discipline to follow it. Now you've got both, so go make it happen.